And we are going live for our last COVID with COVID interview today. So just waiting for our interviewee to join. Here we go. Hi, everyone that's joining. Thank you for joining, everyone. Hello, Caroline.
Hello.
How
How
are
are you doing
you?
today? I'm good.
Good. Thank you so much for joining us. So great to have you on. This is our last Coping with COVID series, so a part of our series. And I think that this is a great way to end on a really good note because with everything that's going on with the pandemic, I think that from a professional standpoint, it is the perfect time to make sure that people are staying, making sure they're paying attention to the continuing education that's being offered out there. So can you kind of tell us a little bit about you and about Hive?
Sure. Well, first, I would just like to thank you for having me on your last installment. Such an honor to get to speak with you today. I'm really looking forward to it.
Good.
But my name is Caroline. I work at HIVE Talent Acquisition Firm as a campus recruiter. Our three main verticals are we do HR consulting and staffing, and then we also staff interns, which is where I oversee and I run that part of the business, and we staff interns with companies.
Okay, great. So I just want everyone to know that have joined us is that this is not, I know that we're ending the series. It does not mean that COVID is over. It's still very, very relevant right now. But to make sure that we're kind of ending on a high note, I think that this is appropriate for us to talk about, continuing education and how people are going to make sure that they're really cultivating these opportunities and just really trying to grow within the roles that in their professional roles. So my first question that I had for you was, with everything that's going on, like what are some different types of virtual learning resources that people can tap into?
Sure. So, right now with everyone working remotely, I think this is a great time to take advantage of continued education with more people, having more time on their hands, as well as the different online opportunities that there are. Some of the big ones right now are LinkedIn Learning. They provide many courses that range between leadership to software, learning courses, on Microsoft Suite or Adobe Suite, different leadership courses. I took one on confident speech for women
Okay.
in the workforce, which was really impactful and provided insight, how I can better present myself as a woman, in a business. There's also, I've noticed a lot of people participating in Google Analytics certification.
Okay.
Google Analytics will help someone better understand their website data, and getting certified enables somebody to, better understand how their website's being affected on Google, which is really great. There's also Microsoft
Yeah, there's
Learning
just so
Online,
many.
where people could become certified. There's just so many options. There's also Udemy. That's an e-learning platform that offers free courses, such as
Okay.
HTML and other programming languages. And then lastly, there's the General Assembly. They offer online workshops and certification courses in programming, data science, digital marketing, and many areas. It's a great resource to tap into.
No, I completely agree. I know that some of our team members actually have done some training and workshops with General Assembly, which I think is a great resource if anyone's looking to really heighten their skill set with marketing, social media, any type of technology tool that you're looking to get much more in tune with, and also just helping to kind of raise the level of expectations that I think that a lot of us have for our existing roles. Roles are changing, they're evolving right now. And if you don't have the proper tools to continue on with this evolution, then you're kind of falling behind. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit more. I think that you
Mm-hmm.
are, oh, there you go. You froze just a second there. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties. So you're back now, but tell me a little bit about how can companies incorporate this continuing learning program into their company culture? How can they do that?
Sure. Well, just a little bit at Hive, we, a part of our culture is the push to be continuous learners. Events such as webinars, networking events that could help us professionally develop. And I think, a way to install that is that companies can offer tuition reimbursement or certification reimbursement to help employees participate in some of the programs that I mentioned earlier. You talked about evolving. Something that's evolving right now are master programs. I notice a lot of companies or a lot of schools are waiving the GRE requirement for those who are interested in their masters. And I think, some companies do offer programs such as those to get reimbursed. So that's one way they can create professional development budgets for the team. So if your team members do want to participate in continuing education, they know that they have a budget to use to do that. Right now I'm actually prepping to take my SHRM exam, and my company built that in for me to take it, which is really great. And more companies should do so as well. Encourage the team to participate in continued education right now more than ever.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that a lot of the Ivy League schools like Harvard and Yale and Cornell are offering these free courses, continuing education courses right now and across various industries, which I think is a great opportunity for anyone that's looking to, kind of tap into just that Ivy League programs and see what they're all about. But just the value that you're getting to be exposed to their programming, I think is an excellent way for someone to not have to pay, of course, Ivy League, prices,
Right.
but just really be able to kind of tap into those programs and see what they're all about and just learn from it. So another question that I had for you is, right now, of course, we're in this whole pandemic, but we're slowly, returning back to work. A lot of states are opening up where there's a lot more people out and about and a lot of activities that are happening. So tell me, what can people do, once you do go back into the office and you don't have as much downtime, of course, because you're not working from home. Post-COVID, how do you think that people should go about making sure that this continuing education is really top of mind, not just for themselves individually, but also within a company?
Right. Well, I think, online learning is still here to stay, even when people are slowly returning to the office. And taking advantage of the online learning, people can adapt to their own pace at their own time, scheduling it throughout the day. If you end work at 5, even if it's just an hour or, an hour after dinner to take the time to study
Yeah.
after. And, it's still a slow transition. A lot of companies I notice are doing shift work where half their employees could come into the day and employees have to schedule themselves. So those days that you don't have to come into the office and the days you don't have to commute, that's, prime time to take advantage of studying and participating in online learning courses.
Absolutely. So this was a question that I had for you. I know that there's a lot of workshops that are, 6 weeks, 12-week programs. And then there are things that you can do that are kind of like, an hour long, 2-hour long programs. What do you think are the most effective ones? I know that sometimes when people are going through an extensive kind of long week programs where it's kind of they have to commit themselves to those programs, do you find them to be effective where people can really commit knowing that they have a full-time position?
I think, yeah, I think the ones that are like 6 week, 12-week, even 18 weeks, it's a little bit more realistic with, your working schedule. But, I truly believe everyone learns at their own pace. So if you think I know it can be difficult juggling school or, classes and working at the same time.
Yeah.
You just really have to be motivated and push yourself and see the long-term effects of continued education, which could bring you, more skill sets,
Yeah.
more promotional, promotional opportunities, advancing with your company. And even if you're looking to career change, a continuing education can bring you those benefits.
No, I love that you said that, from a compensation standpoint to getting a promotion or even, shifting into a different industry altogether, a continuing education program, whatever that looks like for anyone could be an avenue to get you there. So I know I wanted to kind of pick your brain just a little bit when it comes to some of the masters, going back to school, getting your master's versus, because a master's degree, that's, more money that you have to spend, and it could get really expensive depending on what industry and what type of school that you're going to, versus, a general assembly who's offering, on, hands-on types of programming. They're not as long as a master's, or even the commitment level is not as long. Like, what are the pros and cons there?
I think, with a master's, it might make you stand out, but to me, if you get the skill sets and you're able to prove it in the workforce, that's ultimately the goal. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and General Assembly, I feel like, is becoming more and more popular. You hear more people talking about it, and being able to talk about the skill sets you attained, whichever course you get, I think it's going to make you a better employee at the end of the day.
Great. So I want everyone to know this is such a great opportunity for you to check out Hive. They do some really great work within their firm. And if anyone's looking for interns or looking for any sort of staffing opportunities, this is a great company that you can turn to. And I hope that I want you to provide your information, your company's information, so that people can reach out to you if they have any further questions. Can you do that for us?
Sure, and I'm actually later today, I'll be publishing my answers to the questions you sent me to prep for on my personal LinkedIn and to be shared on our account so anyone can see the resources and get a recap of what we're talking about today.
Oh, that is perfect. That's absolutely perfect. So thank you so much for that. And I want everyone to know that I know we're ending our series, but there's so much more that's coming from Media Frenzy within the next, coming weeks. And we want you to, make sure you're continuing to stay tuned to our social media page and just everything that we have going on. There's so much going on right now. We have a pledge. We're doing a call out to all agencies across the nation. We want you guys to sign a pledge. It's an act in solidarity plan where we want people to commit to a couple of things that are really going to make sure that we are paying attention to what's happening with Black Lives Matter, and that in the workplace, that these individuals are having a voice within their workplace. They're feeling safe, and they're also going to be holding the entire agency accountable for how things are moving forward in the future. So I want everyone to make sure that they're tuning into that. But I do thank you, Caroline, for joining us for our last Coping with COVID interview. And thank you so much for everything. And we will be seeing you guys soon. So we're signing off right now, but we're not going anywhere whatsoever. So please continue to follow Media Frenzy on our page for a lot of great updates to come. So we'll see you guys soon, but thank you so much.
Thank you again, Katie.
All right, bye.